Hello and welcome to Conway Video. In this video I'd like to talk about things to ignore and learning what to ignore. I found this has been a theme in my life and probably a theme that other people can relate to. We all get bombarded with lots of information on social media, on news feeds, on news websites and various other sources. And it can get overwhelming and stressful as well because we constantly feel like we're behind. There's always something new that we have to learn. There's always some new idea or tool or knowledge, something out there that we have to learn. And we constantly feel like we're falling behind because we just can never quite catch up and learn all the new shiny things. And what I've found is that I've been trying to get good at basically learning what to ignore. So learning what is really important and then focusing on those things and just ignoring a lot of the other things. Because I found that a lot of these other things, whether it's things you're supposed to know or things that other people think you should be spending time to learn about, these things aren't always things that you really do need to learn or do really need to spend time to learn about. It's often more to do with the other person or the other company trying to sell you something and trying to market something to you. They want you to click on their website, or they want you to buy their book, or they want you to attend their online course, or they want you to work for their company, or they want you to buy their company's product. And this is all fine. I mean, this is the market, right? People sell things, people buy things, people trade with each other. Some of these things probably are useful, and some of these things probably could benefit you, but a lot of them probably won't. In fact, for you to really be able to absorb knowledge and understand something, you probably are going to need to focus on a small number of things, maybe even just one thing. And so it's good to try and over time start to get a feel for what you can safely ignore and just say, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to read that or learn about that. You know, it would be wonderful. It would be fun if I had all the time in the earth. Then yeah, I'd do that. But the thing is that I don't have all the time in the earth. I've got a limited amount of time, a limited amount of energy. And so I have to choose. I have to actively, consciously choose what I'm going to focus on, what I'm going to take out of the world and really study and learn properly. And so I've been trying to develop that. And, funnily enough, I found that when you do that, you actually start to be able to learn other things more easily. So, for example, if I just focus on memory management in JavaScript, so I just learn about how memory management works in just one language, and that's JavaScript, and maybe even just one browser, Chrome. If I really focus on that for a few weeks and get really good at that and a good understanding of that, it's not such a big leap to then actually apply that knowledge to other languages or other systems. A lot of those ideas, a lot of those concepts, I'll actually be able to apply then to C++ or to .NET or to some other language and environment. So by actually limiting the amount of things you focus on and being able to ignore most of the rest of it, you can actually become more flexible and better at picking up new knowledge. Just because you've learned one thing so well, that knowledge gives you a good foundation on which to then build other things and to extend your knowledge and to learn other ideas and other concepts. And I think that it can also really help to relieve expectation. Basically, to use the old expression, to avoid getting your knickers in a knot over things. So I found that when you get stressed out and you've got so many different things you're worried about, then it's difficult to move forward. It's difficult to make progress on any of those things. Whereas if I found that if you just can be comfortable with a smaller number of things taking your focus and just really do well in those things, then life just becomes less of a stressful experience. Life becomes more free, more open. You feel like you have more time and more energy because you're not trying to do a million things at once. You're just focusing on a small number of really core things. And you're not expecting yourself to do all these things. I think trying to learn everything and trying to take on too much at one time, it creates a sense of expectation. And that sense of expectation then turns into stress because we expect ourselves to be here and we're only here and we're constantly measuring ourselves and we're constantly trying to prove to ourselves that we do meet the mark, but then we keep failing to meet the mark. But maybe the problem is that the mark is a bit too high and it doesn't need to be that high. Maybe we can adjust our expectations and put our expectations, not necessarily lower them, but put our expectations around things that are realistic and that are humanly achievable. Like becoming really good at one thing, maybe becoming really good at that one programming language, or that one communication style, or that one industry, or whatever it is. Becoming really good at that thing first, and then not expecting ourselves to be able to do more of that. I think that can really help to relieve stress. I guess it's kind of like getting junk mail, getting spam in the mail. You know it exists, you're aware of it, but you don't have to go and then read every single spam letter and then get really upset and angry that people are sending you this junk mail that you don't want. You don't have to do any of that. You can just you can accept it and be aware that it's there, but you don't have to focus on it. You don't have to obsess over it or worry about it. And that's the attitude I'm taking, I guess, to a lot of these different things. Someone out there thinks that I should learn X, and that without learning X, there's no way I'm going to succeed, and you must learn this, you must download my course, you must read my book. And there's like a million of these out there. And so I just calmly let them say that. I'm aware of it. I don't try and ignore it or avoid it. I'm kind of calmly aware of it, but I do know to kind of ignore it, in the sense that I do know to not get, invested in it, not to get beat myself up because I don't have time for it. And just to sort of let it go, let it be out there in the world, and just focus on the things that I consciously and actively have decided are the things that I'm interested in and that I have good reason to pursue. So yeah, that's my take on it. Learning what to ignore, learning what to dismiss, can be really good. It can save you time, save you stress, and help you focus on the things that you don't want to ignore and you don't want to dismiss. Thank you for watching.